welcome viewers. This is Windshear. Here's some stats from my PlayStation 4 account, Battlefield 1. 2.3 KD, about 150 hours played. I am the number 3 worldwide ranked player using the M1909 Benet Mercedes with over 6,000 kills. That's a bipod variant. And just some fancy stats here from Battlefield1stats.com. Check out that channel or that web page. It's a great page to see what your stats are specifically. Not a big stat guru, but like I say, I am way up there with support guys, and particularly the Benet Mercedes. But I won't be using that gun. I will have some gameplays that come with that weapon. But I want to cover this gameplay in particular because this was my highest scoring Conquest match to date with, well, forgive me, I forgot what the score was. I think it's 86 kills and 16 deaths, something like that. So I've edited out some of the deaths, and I'm just pretty much focusing on the core streaks. That beginning streak you saw, or the clip I showed you in the beginning of the gameplay, that occurred at the very tail end of this gameplay, so you'll see this again. I'll kind of talk through it. But my channel's always been focused on Battlefield for 1, mostly that and Destiny, but Destiny is pretty much dead until Destiny 2. Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, now Battlefield 1. This is a game I've criticized a lot in the beginning because I didn't like the genre of it. I didn't like the direction the series was going. It's been quite a while since I've posted any content on it. That's not because I haven't been enjoying the game. It's been quite the opposite. I've been enjoying the game very much so. In fact, so much so, look at this spawn. What the heck is going on here? Spawn this guy, he's burning the C objective. Somehow I get behind the whole team here. I'm like, I don't know what's going on here, but unfortunately there's a Flame Trooper elite class, and he's just going to ruin my day here, as this is just a good moment to start off this game. But I kind of chuckled at that spawn. But like I was one of the most critical voices about this game in the beginning, saying this is a terrible direction for DICE and Battlefield to go, but in the end, I like usual, I eat my own words, and I am loving this game. I still love it to this day, and I play it a lot, as much as I can. That's the reason I haven't had much uploads lately, guys. I apologize. There's been a lot going on with me. Started a new job within the last year. I moved to a new city. I moved from Kansas City to Las Vegas. I live in Las Vegas now. Lots going on with all that, let alone buying a new house, moving. So this is something I just do for a hobby. It's something I enjoy doing. I enjoy playing with Battlefield players. In particular, shout out to my boy Righty there in the squad. He's pretty much the only guy I game with nowadays. Really enjoy playing with him. It's important. One of the good things about Battlefield is its teamwork-oriented composition. So when you have players in your squad that really know what they're doing and they complement your loadout, like Righty, he's a really good scout player. Well, he's really good at it with any class, but he really scouts where he shines. I think he's got like 56 stars now with it, or rank on it. And he really complements my loadout by shooting the flares out and allowing me to see, particularly with my mortar attack, where the enemies are, and kind of enhance my situational awareness. So, and on top of that, he's a cool guy, and I enjoy playing with him, and pretty straight shooter. And look at this. Moments like this, guys laying on his belly, burning the objective. It's like, why do you stay there? Because the first thing I'm going to do when I spawn back in, and call me a troll, call it cheap tactic, but the rage mode's on, and the revenge kill will be in effect. So I'm going to spawn the nearest guy to where that guy is, because I know he's going to stay there. Players are so predictable in this game, and the first thing I'm going to do is just drop a mortar on your head and be on my merry way and ruin his day. And teabags are in effect, like they always are. So, lots to kind of come on. The commentary, guys, forgive me, it's been a little while since I've done it. I'm a little bit rusty, and hopefully this footage is turning out sharper than it looks right now. I'm not really sure what's going on with my video recording options. If it's not quite as sharp as it normally is, forgive me. I'll try to improve that in the future. But long story short, just been busy, backlogged. I think you're going to see more content coming from me, but what it's going to be in terms of Battlefield 1 content is going to be less montage stuff, because I've got just dozens and dozens of hours of gameplay, and unfortunately I just can't sift through it all. And I've got some epic moments, don't get me wrong, but I just don't have the time to compile all that into a montage to start a video. What you're going to see more is just more raw type gameplay, or gameplay like this, where maybe one whole match with some condensed portions of it shortened, and then be offering commentary, or maybe I won't be offering some commentary. It might just be straight up gameplay, depending. And look at this guy beast mode camper shotgun. Just dropped 3 guys. I had a feeling I heard somebody up there. I wasn't quite sure. That's why somebody kind of paused around that corner, because you can really sound hoard quite well in this game. I got some good headphones. I thought I heard somebody stop him, but then he stopped. Good play. I know we all love to criticize the shotgun players, but it's just like any other weapon. You got to use its strengths to its advantage. And the bar is my second most used gun in this gameplay. I just unlocked this Doughboy skin today, so it's like, finally, I've been trying to unlock this skin forever. But the Benet Merce is not a good weapon for this type of map. It's more of a long-range sniper support class weapon, whereas this map with the bar, it's one of the best time-to-kill weapons for support class. It just deals out an immense amount of firepower at 600 rounds per minute with that high damage rate. So it just shreds guys in close quarters, regardless of what kind of loadout they have to combat you with. And so if you use your, like I've always said, if you use your class strengths to your advantage, play your weapons smartly, you'll more often than not end up at top of the leaderboard. I think this one thing I should have probably mentioned in my stats. I don't know if you saw it in there, but MVP is an important stat to me. If you're routinely at top of the leaderboard of 64-player Conquest, that's pretty much exclusively what I play. I don't play much operations. I don't like how the matchmaking set up for that. It takes too long to load, and often I join games that are almost over. And I know a lot of people tout how much they like that game mode, but in terms of my experience, I'm not able to join very many successful matches. The UI in this game, I think, was a big step back in terms of matchmaking and such. It's just frustrating. Load times. So I pretty much just stick to Conquest. Oh, and look at that field gun kill, beast. Wow. That means go on some tears, and then next thing you know, you're getting a field gun from behind. So in terms of my gameplay, I stick almost exclusively to Conquest. I think it offers the best blend of just everything Battlefield has to offer, from vehicle gameplay to infantry combat, just allowing you to kind of change the dynamics of how a match is progressing. You know where to go, especially on this map, not Billy Hook. Especially on this map, you kind of know where the trends are going to go, and you can kind of position yourself for flanks, or to go head-on into combat, or to position yourself where you got some cover. I just always like Conquest. And there's no debate that Conquest is one of the most popular game modes ever. It always has been with Battlefield. It's what kind of defines Battlefield, is just what I'm trying to say. The gameplays I have in the future, I got lots of gameplays with the Benet. I mean, in my opinion, it's the most underrated weapon in the game. It's a true sniper type weapon, but it's so versatile. I take guys out of close range, all day at medium range, and in certain situations, extreme long ranges as well, using the telescopic variant with bipod. So awesome gameplays of that coming up for sure. Here in this position, this gameplay, again, the bar just hands down much better option for this type of more close quarters, intense infantry combat. But a lot of people, this border has seen a huge nerf since its initial launch. It's tough to get a lot of kills with it, but it's still effective if you use it correctly. Again, having a good scout player like Righty here in my squad. If you are a scout player out there, I would encourage you to run flares as opposed to K-bullets or some other garbage that scout has. There's no replacement for the again, here tearing it up here. There's just no replacement for the situational awareness advantage of having everybody spotted on the map, and that's everybody benefits from it. And I think it's one of the more underrated pieces of equipment that people tend to just kind of discount or dismiss or overlook. So I encourage you guys, if you are scout players like a lot of you are, to use those flares, because it's one of the most powerful things in this game that you can get. Again, kind of flanking here, positioning. I'm trying to keep cover, trying to tuck behind these rocks. I always try to use element surprise when I can, but typically when I die, it's when I expose my back to a flank or get over aggressive. I see that a lot in my gameplay. I am an aggressive player. I don't like to sit back. I like to get in the thick of action. I like to flank. I like to push on the objectives. I've never been one to sit back in the corners. And again, that kind of goes in line with the MVP mentality. If you want to be at the top of leaderboards, you got to be following your squad orders, or making squad orders, or pushing the objectives, or getting the kills. It's not only just getting kills. It's, you know, again, using all your equipment to your advantage. You know, positioning yourself, spotting enemies, whatever you can do. Just every moment you're playing the game, you should be thinking, I got to get to that, you know, position yourself to make yourself the most effective player in that situation to get kills, or to push an objective, or to get an objective. And I know they got a patch here coming out here soon, the spring. Ooh, that explosion. Oh, this game is beautiful, especially in 4K. I love the PS4 Pro. I really do. It's another reason I just can't put this game down right now. It just looks so good on the PS4 Pro. I love playing with a controller. I know a lot of PC guys right now, especially the top-end PC guy. I'm really surprised. I mean, I'm not afraid to name names. Level Cap, Matemio, X Factor. I mean, some of the biggest Battlefield players out there in the course of history, they've turned their backs in this game, and it's frankly, it's getting me a little frustrated. You know, they moved on to like games like Battlegrounds and third-person shooters, games that, in my opinion, aren't even close to the level of game that this is. Like I said, I was one of the biggest critics of this game in the beginning, but it turned me, and now I can thankfully say, I mean, this is one of my top Battlefields I've ever played it, and I mean, I dare say this could be my favorite Battlefield compared to Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, Bad Company 2. I know a lot of you guys would probably disagree with me on that, especially the Battlefield enthusiasts out there. They claim this game's too casual. I really disagree with those statements. I think this game, you know, a lot of people said Battlefield 4 had too much fluff, had too much content. Now they slimmed it down with less guns, and yet they're still critical of this game, saying now it's too casual, or there's not enough content. It's like, you know, what do you guys, you know, which way? You can't have it both ways, you know. So they've trimmed this game down. There's less guns, but the map designs, the graphics, another step up. I went back to Battlefield 4 recently. I just couldn't stand the slow running. I love how quick you can run in this game. But just little things like that make a big difference in how the game flows. And bottom line, I just find myself having fun PTFOing and getting MVP and beast mode on gameplay. You know, I don't recall ever having a Battlefield game in my history when I had 6,000 kills with one gun. Again, it's an underused gun. A lot of people dismiss it, and I'm not saying this game doesn't have its faults, like as you see here, grenade spam, but hopefully that's going to be addressed soon. I think they could benefit from some quicker patches, some more weapons variants sooner rather than later. Like I say, no game's without its faults, but as the game sits right now, I think it's a solid shooter. Doesn't have that. I mean, I really don't have issues with in terms of connections or netcode issues, except unless you're playing on maybe a foreign server somewhere. But all in all, I'm having a blast playing this game, and I just can't help but shake my head at the. I'm sorry to say, the PC elitists out there that have their beast rigs and all these graphics cards, and they call console players with their potato systems, and what do they end up playing? Games like CSGO with tired, antiquated graphics engines. Battlegrounds is all the rage right now. I mean, look how. I mean, and in my opinion, that looks like a game that could have come out 8-10 years ago. It's an indie developer. I know everybody seems to be desperate for some new FPS shooter out there. Titanfall 2, it's probably one of the best games you'll ever play. I play it all the time when I can. I've got lots of hours of gameplay of that. I've had some great moments with the game. Heck of a lot of fun. One of my favorite shooters, but again, it's not mainstream enough for a lot of people, and they just dismiss it because it's a trendy thing to do. And again, it seems to be the trendy thing to do is to bash on Battlefield 1. Well, I'll tell you now, on console, there's some hardcore players on here. I mean, you're talking guys with 10,000-15,000 kills with one type gun, hundreds, 700-800 hours played. I mean, I have measly 150 hours played. If you saw maybe on that screenshot, the number one player with Benet say has like 10,000 kills. I think he has 800 hours in the game, but his score per minute is only like 300 points, whereas mine's 1,300 points. So I'm not trying to brag here, but I think in terms of stats, I'll just come out and say I think I'm probably the best player in the world with that gun, statistically. Again, numbers aren't everything, but you got to look at the pieces and put them all together. And what I'm trying to say is, again, I think In terms of the player base, console in the future of gaming, I think this is pretty much, and I've said this before, I think console's where it's at. PC, I'm not bashing on you, but I do like to poke fun at PC because I'm a PC player. I have a PC, always had, started off playing PC, and then I went to console. Mainly for the fact that there's less hacking potential. It's more difficult to hack on console. It's a more level playing field, and there's no hardware advantages. But the number one reason, I had to be honest, and like I've always said, is controllers. I love playing with the controller. I do not like keyboard and mouse. I don't like being hunched over a desk. I love the vibration feedback, the tactile feedback. I love the immersion effect of that. I've got a PSVR. Frankly, that's probably a waste of money right now if you're thinking about buying one. But again, in terms of immersion factors, I think console has always been offering those kind of what some people will call gimmicks. You know, vibration features on controllers and all that stuff. You know, stuff like that really makes a difference for me. So that's why I've always been a console gamer. And PlayStation 4 is just killing it. I've been killing it the last year and a half. Fantastic system. I've got the PS4 Pro, the PS4 Slim, PS Vita, PSVR. I mean, I'm about as big as Sony fanboy, I guess, as you can get. But yeah, to each your own. Whatever console, whatever platform works for you. Battlefield 1, I think, is one of the best shooters out there. Those are typically the games I play as well. I also like other games, but in terms of my gameplay, it's always uploading this kind of stuff. So, kind of a roundabout of kind of background on some of my story, if you guys aren't familiar with it, if you're new to the channel, or you just happen to stumble by this gameplay and see some B scores. I mean, you can put up some big scores, I'd like to say. This game, ooh, and anti-tank grenades, those are an aggravation. I'm at 64 kills right now, progressing forward, and if you're watching the gameplay, I apologize, I'm probably not breaking down as much as I should be. That's typically what I do. I'll be focusing on that more in the uploads to come here from here on out. But again, just watching the gameplay, it's about how I position myself. You see, I'm kind of being cautious about discharging into objectives. Try to maintain the key word I'm always using is a situational awareness. Trying to keep your head on a swivel, looking around you, looking at your mini map. I'm looking at my mini map now. I'm thinking I probably need to blow that thing up a little bit. It's a little too small. I don't know why I've been playing with such a small mini map. I know that you can customize that, so that's probably a tip I would encourage you to do is look at your mini map for one. I think I see a lot of guys out there that just are kind of oblivious to what's on the mini map. Yeah, I might encourage you guys to like I think I'm going to increase the size of my mini map, because there's a lot of customization options that you can do with the map as well. Again, air burst mortar, that's good for infantry, but I'll say more often than not, when I'm not playing an infantry map like this one, 9 times out of 10 I'm always running the HE mortar, the high explosive one, because I really find it effective as a support class player to be able to take out tanks at range, and that makes them a viable contender to do so. Now here we are coming up to that clip where I showed you that 15 kill streak in the beginning. Again, it's about positioning. Again, this gun, the weakest point of it is this magazine size. I don't understand why they have an assault class weapon like the Hellriegel that has 60 rounds in it, and soon to be 120 rounds, but yet the BAR only has 20 rounds. I know they're trying to stay true to the weapon's design. But again, it's one of the weaker aspects. I think this gun could use a slight buff in terms of its damage output, maybe a little higher damage number, like say 34 damage. I know a lot of people are like, oh, you're crazy, Windshear, but again, in terms of how often, the biggest thing I have to do is just reload the gun all the time. A lot of times those quick kills are people that are already wounded or have taken fire, so I'm just kind of getting a cleanup kill. There's a nice turnaround, get turned on, son. I don't know how I dropped that guy. You should see me take cover here. I know I'm wounded. I'm not really sure. There's nobody around me, so laying down prone like this is a good tactic. Using the foliage around you, using cover. Don't just be standing up where just if somebody breathes on you, you can die. Take some time to recover, get the suppression shooken off. Wait for your teammates to come up around you, and now you can continue the streak. That's why I was kind of laying down there. And again, it's about pacing yourself, just not rambling around. You can be Rambo in this game, but just be cautious and no need to expose yourself to unnecessary damage or fire. And this is just a Hail Mary right there. I don't know how I dropped that guy at that range. Again, luck. Some of this is luck. That was a good streak. Not often that you can pull those off with that many clusters of enemy. Again, it was about tactical strategy, pushing up behind that team, and then quickly eliminating as many players as you can, but in an efficient manner, a smart manner. And here I'm just kind of disoriented. I'm not really sure. We're losing every flag. I'm like, are we gonna lose this match? I think, I see B's been taken. I'm like, well, I guess I'll go back to B, and this turned out to be a bad move on my end. I was hoping to keep the momentum going. Unfortunately, it just fizzled out here, and I would have hoped to, if I would have gotten a better flag with some enemies and picked the right flag, I guess, I would have maybe broke 90 kills. And I mean, I can't imagine you're hitting 100 kills on a Conquest match. I mean, this is about a 20 average Conquest match. It's just a standard dice server, so there's no special rules here or anything. I should have pushed up to C is what I should have done. So, 86 kills and just an average Conquest ticket match is highly unusual. I played a lot of, like I said, about 150 hours. I've never had a kill count that high. I don't think I've ever seen anybody get a kill count that high, unless they're like, forgive the word or the term, vehicle whoring or something like that. But it's pretty unusual unless you're playing like a frontlines type game mode or rush or operations, and before you start seeing guys hit triple-digit type kills. But in everyday Conquest, extremely unusual to have that kind of score. So I've got lots of good gameplays to come, guys. It's going to be more structure like this with just one type map. In the future, I'll focus more on the tactics and how I position myself, how I'm using, again, specifically the next video will be the Benamer, say 6,000 kills now and counting. Again, arguably one of the best weapons in the game. I think an underrated weapon. And I'll show you lots of gameplay with that gun, because again, it's my bread and potatoes gun. So I hope you guys like the video. Please like, subscribe, guys. I'll try to have more content to come. Appreciate your support over the years. I will see you on the battlefield.